Hey everyone, it's Lisa Morton here with today's Halloween History 101. For today, I am pulling another one of my vintage postcards from my collection, and the one that we are going to talk about today is from 1911, and it's this. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this one in particular today is we're going to talk about the history of the witch in relation to Halloween. The witch doesn't really appear in regards to Halloween until the late 16th century, specifically the North Berwick witch trials of 1590. Before that, I could find no mention of witches being part of any All Saints' Day or All Souls' Day festivities. But in that particular series of trials, which, by the way, were held under King James when he was still the King of Scotland before he became the King of England, um, this is the first time that we see witches under interrogation confessing to holding their Sabbaths on November 1st, which is All Saints' Day. They would have begun those Sabbats on the eve before Halloween, October 31st. Now, I have a particular theory about why it shows up under these trials. I believe it was a matter of political expediency. What you need to know about King James is that he was both interested in witchcraft and demonology. In fact, he wrote a book called Demonology. But he also was looking at that point to separate himself from the church. And it was very convenient to both tie in his interest in witches with a Catholic holiday, All Saints' Day. So he was able to, horrible pun not intended, kill two birds with one stone by including that in the interrogations. I suspect that that was probably a fact that was coerced from these innocents who were part of these terrible trials in North Berwick. After that, we start to see witches connected to All Saints' Day and Halloween quite often. And one of the interesting facts that you will notice in this postcard, which, by the way, again, 1911, is that she's dressed in red. That was very common for the time. In fact, you almost never saw witches depicted around the early 20th century wearing black with the green skin. I think that the one thing that changed that forever was The Wizard of Oz in 1939. Yes, our modern conception of the witch as the green-skinned, black-robed, black-hatted hag comes from a film that is less than 100 years old. That is today's Halloween History 101. I hope you have enjoyed that, and we'll be back for more.